In the lush green landscapes of the eastern Nigeria nestled a quaint little village called Abasiama, known for its vibrant culture and intriguing tales. Abasiama was not just any village. It was a place where the air was thick with folklore, and the nights were illuminated with fireside stories. The villagers, simple folks who lived in modest mud homes with thatched roofs, had a tale for every occasion, and a story for every star in the sky. Their lives were as intertwined with the tales they told as the roots of the ancient Iroko tree were with the fertile soil of their land. And then there was Afiong. Afiong, a young maiden as radiant as the morning sun, as captivating as the full moon, and just as elusive. She was the jewel of Abasiama, the subject of many a youth's daydream, and the cause of many a mother's sigh. Suitors from near and far flocked to ask for her hand, but Afiong, as stubborn as the mule who wouldn't plow, had a knack for saying no. Every suitor, no matter how handsome, wealthy, or charming, was met with the same firm rejection. The villagers were perplexed, frustrated even. Whispers began to fill the air. Why won't she marry? What is she waiting for? Is she cursed? Yet Afiong remained undeterred, her head held high, her resolve unbroken. Oh, the villagers couldn't have known then how this stubborn streak of Afiong would soon weave a tale that would be told for generations. A tale filled with love, mystery, and a twist so extraordinary it would capture the imagination of all who heard it. Little did they know Afiong's stubbornness was about to lead her into an adventure of a lifetime. One sunny day, a peculiar suitor appeared in the market square, a suitor unlike any they had ever seen. He was a vision of grandeur, a spectacle, a sight to behold. A skull? Yes, a skull, but not just any skull. This skull had borrowed body parts from his friends in the spirit land, a clever trick indeed. He had eyes that sparkled like the night sky, a nose that was as sharp as a hawk's, and a smile that could charm the moon. Imagine the scene, dear listeners. The market square, usually bustling with the harmonious chaos of everyday life, fell into a stunned silence. The villagers gawked, jaws dropped, eyes wide with disbelief. In the midst of this spectacle, our young Afiong, ever the rebel, didn't recoil in fear or disgust. No, not her. Instead, she was enchanted, mesmerized by this extraordinary being. Like a moth to a flame, Afiong was drawn to him. His charisma, his charm, his uniqueness, it was all too captivating. Her heart fluttered, her cheeks flushed, and she knew that this was the one she would marry, the one she would defy her parents for. You see, dear listeners, Afiong's parents were, understandably, aghast. Their beloved daughter, their precious jewel, captivated by a skull. Despite their pleas, their admonitions, their desperate cries, Afiong was resolute. She was bewitched, entranced by this skull, this stranger from the spirit land. Despite her parents' pleas, Afiong decided to marry this stranger from the spirit land, the skull. And so, against all odds, against all logic, against all norms, Afiong made her choice. The disobedient daughter, the defiant child, the rebel. She chose the skull. A choice that would change her life forever, a choice that would lead her on an adventure she could never have imagined. As Afiong stepped into the spirit land, she found herself in a world beyond her wildest imagination. It was a realm where the sun shone brighter, the colors were more vivid, and the air brimmed with an energy unknown to the mortal world. Yet, beneath this dazzling surface, there was a sense of the uncanny, a subtle reminder that this was not her world. The spirit land was a realm of borrowed forms, where beings of the otherworldly borrowed from one another to appear as they wished. As Afiong watched, the handsome form of her skull husband began to unravel. The borrowed body parts, one by one, detached themselves, returning to their original owners. The strong arms, the broad shoulders, the charming face, all dissolved, leaving behind the skull Afiong had first met in the market. The shock of this transformation left Afiong reeling, but there was no time for her to collect her thoughts. The skull's mother, a spirit of wisdom and ageless beauty, took Afiong under her wing. With a stern but caring voice, she warned Afiong of the cannibalistic spirits that roamed the land. These spirits, she said, were relentless and would stop at nothing to consume the life force of a mortal. In the midst of this bewildering landscape, Afiong found herself reflecting on the choices she had made. She thought of her parents, of the suitors she had turned down, and of the alluring skull she had chosen to marry. This was not the life of excitement and novelty she had envisioned. This was a life of constant threat and uncertainty. In this strange land, Afiong realized the gravity of her disobedience. She had been swayed by the allure of the unknown, ignoring the wisdom of her elders. Now she found herself in a world where nothing was as it seemed, and danger lurked around every corner. As she navigated through this strange new reality, Afiong understood that her journey was far from over. The skull's mother, taking pity on Afiong, decided to send her back home, but not without a promise. A promise that was as heavy as the burden she had already borne in the spirit land. Afiong, with a heart filled with remorse and longing for her home, vowed to honor and obey her parents henceforth. As she stepped back into the land of the living, her return was met with a joyous uproar. The echo of jubilation resounded in every corner of their village. A village that had its heart in the right place. A village that was home. The villagers celebrated her return with an enthusiasm that was as infectious as their laughter and their dances. The rhythm of their feet matched the beating of their hearts, hearts that were glad to have Afiong back. The air was filled with the aroma of delicious meals, cooked in celebration of Afiong's safe return. The village had not known such joy in a long while. But joy wasn't the only thing that Afiong's return brought to the village. It also brought with it a valuable lesson, a lesson learned the hard way. The villagers, having witnessed the perils of Afiong's disobedience, decided to pass a law that prohibited the villagers from marrying strangers from distant lands, a law that was etched in the heart of every villager, a law that was born out of love and concern for their own. Afiong's return was not just a return to her village, it was a return to her roots, to her values, to the wisdom of her elders that she had once dismissed. And it was in this return that she found her true self. Finally, Afiong understood the wisdom of her elders, and she decided to start afresh. With a humble heart and a newfound understanding, Afiong accepted the proposal of her father's friend. No longer was she the rebellious, headstrong girl that once fell in love with a skull. Now she was a woman, wiser and more mature, who understood the importance of her parents' wisdom and counsel. The once disobedient daughter was now a beacon of obedience and respect. She married the friend of her father, a man well known and respected in the village. Their union was celebrated with joy and merriment that echoed through the mud houses and thatched roofs of their rural village in eastern Nigeria. The villagers, once wary of Afiong's rebellious spirit, now admired her transformation and the strength she exhibited through her ordeal. Afiong's marriage was not just a union of two souls, but a symbol of her personal growth. She was no longer the girl who was drawn to the unknown, the mysterious, the dangerous. She was now a woman who understood the value of familiarity, of community, and of honoring the wisdom of those who came before her. Together, Afiong and her husband lived a life of contentment and happiness. Their love story was not one of fairy tale romance, but of real-life resilience, growth, and understanding. It was a love story that was rooted not in adventure and excitement, but in respect, mutual understanding, and shared values. The villagers breathed a sigh of relief. The tale of the disobedient daughter who married a skull served as a stark reminder of the dangers of disobedience and the allure of the unknown. But it also served as a testament to the transformative power of experience, understanding, and wisdom. The villagers learned, just as Afiong did, that sometimes the most important lessons are those learned the hard way. This unusual tale, woven with threads of tradition, rebellion, and wisdom, served as a mirror for the villagers. It reflected their fears, their hopes, their values, and ultimately, their evolution as a community. It was a tale that would be passed down through generations, a tale that would continue to shape, guide, and inspire the people of the village. And so, Afiong lived happily, carrying the wisdom of her adventure in her heart. The disobedient daughter was now a wise woman, her story a beacon of wisdom and understanding for all. From the heart of eastern Nigeria, this is the story of Afiong, the disobedient daughter who married a skull and lived to tell the tale. In the grand tapestry of life, every thread has a story. And today we unraveled Afiong's. We journeyed through her rebellious youth, her unconventional marriage to a skull, the terrifying spirit land, her return home, and finally her redemption and happy ending. The tale of Afiong serves as a reminder of the importance of wisdom, obedience, and discernment in choosing life's paths. Thank you for joining us on this riveting journey. If you enjoyed this tale, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more such captivating stories. Until next time, keep exploring the world of folklore.